Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Phoenix Podcast with me, Jen Coffey, as you and I rise together from where we are now to where we want to be, to where we intend to be, and therefore where we're meant to be. Now, that's usually the mission statement, the focus of this podcast. Well, this week it's going to be very different. This week, consider it a sort of video and audio newsletter full of updates because much has been going on and I want to share it with you. If you received my newsletter already, then you're aware of some of this, but definitely not all of it, because one of them is an update that I have shared with only my closest friends and colleagues. And so I'm saving it for the very end, a big announcement. And I won't make you wait too long because I know that's annoying and agonizing. But stick with me. And by the way, if you are not signed up for the newsletter, Jennifer@jennifercoffey.com, I'll get you hooked up. All right. The first topic in this podcast has to do with the big trip to Greece. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I have 2 spots remaining as of the airing of this podcast. So if you receive the newsletter, there's a link in there with the itinerary, the cost, the payment plan, where we're going, how you can stick around a couple of extra days in Santorini. Almost everybody signed up for that. And you can sign up. Or you and your bestie, you and your spouse can sign up. Most of the travelers on this trip are solo travelers who would prefer a safer option, or they want to meet more people, or they went on the Italy trip last year. And in fact, most of the gals who went on the Italy trip have signed up again for the Greece trip because they had a heck of a good time. And it was so heart fulfilling for me to watch them having an amazing time as well. And we do have a couple of spousal units that are on this trip too. So if you'd like to bring somebody along and be one of the lucky last 2 to go on the trip, then you can either open up your newsletter, click the link, go ahead and check everything out, ask me questions via email if you need to, and hopefully book. If by the time this podcast is released, we are fully sold out, it will say that in the link, but email me because I'm also going to start a wait list because we've had a lot of interest and that's really exciting. So if you want to go to Greece with us in May of next year, man, let's do it. Life is too short. It's going to be so fun. This company that runs the whole show is just amazing. Very bespoke. Okay, that's update number 1. Update number 2. Now, this one has to do with the podcast itself. And don't worry, the podcast is not ending, but it is evolving, okay? And here's where I am, even though I'm pretty much always like oversharing, very honest, I have realized since I started the podcast that some weeks are different than others. Some weeks I have so much to share with you in this podcast that I feel like I, should be recording 3 of them in one go. And some weeks I go, I think, that my life is extremely busy and I'm not so sure that I have the time to sit down and record and therefore not give you all of me. Or B, I need more time to kind of let what I want to communicate to you gel and form. And so what I've decided to do is, in order to give you the best of me and the best of what I want to share, I'm doing 2 things. 1, I am focusing, redirecting my content to YouTube solely. So right now, most of you, because I've been, watching the statistics, most of you are watching or listening on YouTube. And I'm sure in large part that's because that's mainly the link that I share rather than sharing, 4 or 5 different links. Some of you do listen on Spotify, on Apple, iHeartRadio. What I'm going to do going forward, though, is purely post my videos, my meditations, and podcasts on YouTube. So if I could ask a favor, if you see, if you're watching on YouTube right now, look beneath this screen, and if you see a square that says subscribe, tap that, And it will notify you next time you go into YouTube if there is a new video from me. And you don't have to pay. It's not like a paid subscription. It simply means that you're favoriting, and thank you, favoriting this channel so that you'll always be alerted when there is new content. I also want to broaden what I'm bringing to you. So I'm loving, absolutely loving these one-on-one style conversations. And because it does feel like a conversation, even though it's just me talking into the camera, just like on QVC, I always felt like even though I couldn't see or hear you, I felt like there was this back and forth. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I absolutely love doing this and it will continue, but I want to broaden it as well. I want to guide meditations with you. I want to come on YouTube and share 2-minute videos, just thoughts that I have with you. And I do that on Instagram and Facebook, but I feel like for YouTube, that will be a wonderful hub of all things related to manifestation, making your dreams come true, finding peace, finding purpose. And those bits of information that I have for you aren't always necessarily in a 20, 30, 40-minute conversation. Sometimes they'll be shorter. Sometimes they'll be someplace other than here. Sometimes they'll be someplace other than here, and I don't have a great microphone, so the audio isn't going to be all that great. But I just want it to become more of a true channel that is positive, uplifting, encouraging, informative. And so all of that to say, YouTube is where I ask you to come if you're enjoying this content, if you're enjoying these conversations. And it will always be youtube.com/JenniferCoffeeStyle. You don't need that link because you're already here. And if you're not here because you're on Spotify or Apple, iHeart, the previous podcasts will stay there, but everything going forward will be on YouTube as well. And if you're not much of a YouTuber, that's okay. You can message me on Instagram or my email, jennifer@jennifercoffee.com, and I help you get there. But it's the easiest thing in the world. So that's our update on the podcast. I will make every effort to still make it weekly, but then sometimes it's going to be more than weekly. So shop my content at your liking. I love it so much, and I want to broaden it for you. And I've got some really exciting ideas to share with you there. Are you ready for a pretty big announcement? And, I hear sometimes people say like, I've got big news. And then you hear it and you're like, oh, okay, that's good, but you're like, was that really a big announcement? And maybe that's the take you're going to have on this. But guys, I would have to disagree. This is monumental. Now, it goes like this. If you're listening to me, watching me, I have to believe there is the smallest percentage of you who started listening to this podcast and had never watched me on QVC before, right? And if you're new, I am so excited to have you, and I feel like we need to have coffee so I can catch up on our lives, right? Because this journey that brought me to this podcast was, decades in the making. And many of you who are watching, you journeyed with me and my daughter and my husband now on QVC. You watched me when I was a hopefully imperceptibly but extremely nervous new host in 2011, fumbling my words, dropping products. Thank God I was on in the middle of the night, right? But you stuck with me, hopefully because you wanted to see this crazy lady raising her daughter and chasing her dreams at the same time. And over the years, that's exactly what we did. And I feel like my connection to QVC shoppers and viewers went so much deeper than the products that I was presenting or the purchases that you made. It became a soul connection. And I hope that doesn't seem like flowery prose, because it's absolutely true. I'm so blessed every day to feel like I have thousands of friends who kept me company as I was alone and scared and trying to be brave, while at the same time, I hope I was, in a crazy small way, doing the same for you maybe when you needed a voice, or someone in your living room, or late at night as you struggle to sleep. And that is a lot different than just selling products. And I knew it would be pretty amazing when I started there, but I had no idea how life transforming it would be. And as I made the decision to leave as program host, I knew I was doing the right thing for me and my journey. But I also knew that I'd be back. I invite you to join me this weekend, because if you're watching this, I think it'll be Thursday when this is released. I'm coming back to QVC on the 28th, of course, for Christmas in July. But I'm coming back in a new role. I'm coming back with a brand, yes, but more importantly, with people who spend their time making sure that your home is a place of comfort and joy and romance and calm and beauty. I'm coming back with a brand that I just clicked with right at the beginning, and a gentleman who I had to invite in all my most important shows, our engagement celebration, my farewell show. A gentleman whose joy and excitement and passion for what he does radiates in his smile and his voice and his creations. I'm so delighted to be coming back with Harry Slacken and Homeworks. I'm so excited to be coming back and sharing with you what it is like to breathe deep and be transformed, connected again. In this case, to what it was like to be a little girl helping to cut down one of her first Christmas trees with her family. And maybe you'll see this on the 28th. But you won't just see me on the 28th. You'll see me again and again with Harry and by myself, sharing with you what it's like to light a flame and go somewhere magical. I'm coming back. I'm so excited. And I can't thank Harry and the team at Homeworks for welcoming me with open arms. Madam Mim is excited too. There is so much more to come, friends. I'll be sharing, blasting, inundating you on social media with all of the goings on. It has been so difficult to keep this a secret, but I have to say, and I'll say this on the air too, because it's true. When I came back, and I knew that it was a win, not an if, because I love that place and I love you too much. But I knew when I came back, I wasn't just going to come back for the sake of coming back. And I wasn't just going to come back with any brand. You know this because I've said it on the air so many times, that every product, every brand, every guest with whom I worked and that I presented, I believed in, because I know what it takes for anything to get in front of those cameras. The quality assurance, the meetings, the testing, the focus groups. And everything I presented to you, I knew was good, right? And could bring convenience, joy, value, quality, right? But coming back meant I was choosing which brand, which name I wanted to align with that really connected to what I believe in too. And that belief that it is possible for a thing to change your day, to change your mood, to change your life. But I was very selective. And I was the one who reached out to Harry. And we'll share that conversation, I'm sure, in social media videos. But when Harry said, oh, heck yes, I wish you could have seen the moment. I was so joyful because everything about it feels right. And I can't wait to have fun with you again on the air, on social media, chatting with you, talking about the scents that we love, sharing our memories, and getting excited for new seasons and holidays and special moments. This is one of them. But I'm purposely not showing you the label because I know we're supposed to keep it a secret. I won't be able to. Anyway, how about that for some updates? And it's all I'm going to be talking about over the next few days. We've got Instagram takeovers planned, behind the scenes videos, live streams, and I would love to hear from you. What do you want to experience? What do you want in new scents? Because now I can get into Harry's ear and make suggestions, right? It's going to be so fun. But you knew I couldn't stay away from you for long. So don't worry if you're still coming here because you love chatting about your dreams and your aspirations and your goals. Honey, I'm not going anywhere. In fact, this gets me more fired up than ever because once again, a dream that I had that I knew was right and good and that I couldn't stop thinking about, once again, it came true. And I want the same for you. So let's do that together. I'll keep finding you here, and I'll find you again on your TV screens. Comment below, but first please subscribe so that I can keep you updated. Follow me on social media. On Instagram, it's Jennifer Coffee. On Facebook, it's Jennifer Coffee Style. And I'll keep you posted on all good things. Happy Christmas in July, guys. I'll see you in a couple days.